So this is the start of chapter 9. This is just a quick overview of what happens in chapter 9. We're only covering 2 sections. But what happens is, here I've got a sort of trend line. And what it is that it's just dots. And they're going, I can see it, it's a perfectly straight line. So I'd be able to guess the trend on there. It's just straight up. And this would be the same thing, only going downhill. Perfectly straight. But we know that's not what happens. What happens is more like this. There's sort of a general trend up, or sort of a general trend down, but it's kind of, you kind of have to like see the line. It's not really there. Okay, now this would be completely perfectly correlated. It would have a correlation value of r equals 1 because it's perfect. I could just draw a line through it. And this would have r equals -1. Okay, again, because it's perfect. And the only reason for the negative is because that's like a downward slope. Okay, now this wouldn't have an r value of 1 because it's not perfect. Maybe there's a line going through it. It sort of looks maybe like about that. Doesn't hit any of the points, but it's kind of in the general region of all of them. So maybe this has an r value, like maybe it's 0.83 or something like that. I'm just making up numbers. And then this one could maybe have an r value of -0.79. R values are always going to be between -1 and +1. And -1 is just fine. That just means you're going downhill. Okay, now this one is just a bunch of points, just points. That's going to have an r value of 0. Okay, I can't see any kind of relationship in these numbers whatsoever. So if I'm trying to decide if something's correlated, okay, if it comes out as r is 0, that's bad. All right, if it comes out as r is +1, that's good. Well, that never really happens because it's statistics. Okay, but if it comes out as 0.83, is that good enough? It's probably good enough. I mean, it's like really close to 1. Maybe it's in this kind of range in here. Maybe it's good enough. But what if it's like not? What if, it's too close to 0? What if it's at 0.5? How am I supposed to decide when r is good enough and when r is not good enough? Okay, which is the point of this printout here that I gave you. All right, is we're going to be looking, we'll do it when we actually get some numbers, but look down here, and is the number of people you talk to, or the number of data points in this case, and then if we look down the 0.05, because that's the industry standard, we'll get a value in here. And as long as my number clears that hurdle and is over there, like maybe positive 0.83 is over here, it's into the good zone. Okay, or negative 0.79 is in here. It's into the good zone. It's only when r comes out to be kind of closer to 0 than these numbers on this table, that's when I would say it's not correlated. So what's going on in this chapter is in 9.1, we get the r values. Luckily, it's in the calculator. All I got to do is push the right buttons. Okay, and then I just have to decide based on the chart whether something is correlated or not correlated. In 9.2, what's going on is it's asking, well, what's the equation of the line? So maybe that green line right there, what's the equation of that line? Luckily, it's in the calculator. All I got to do is write it down. So that's what's going on in this chapter. 9.1, get an r value to say whether or not it's correlated. 9.2, go ahead and write down the equation of the line.